The Wall. Extract from a work in progress. We don't know the ins and outs. How should we? How could we? It's not for the likes of you and me to cogitate high policy or to guess the inscrutable economy of the pontifex. From the circuit of the Ager, from the traverse of the Wall. But you see a thing or two in our walk of life, walking the compass of the vallum, walking for 20 years of nights, round and back and fro, on the walls that contain the world. You see a thing or two, you think a thing or two in our walk of life, walking for 20 years, by day, by night, doing the rounds on the walls that maintain the world, on the hard tread of the silex, on the heavy tread of the mound, up in the traversed outwork, stepping it at the alert, down on the Via Quintana, stepping it double quick by numbers to break your trio heart. Dug in wrong side the limes, or walled in back at depot. It's evens, more or less, as far as jumping to it goes. But what about the omphalos? There's the place for the proud walkers, where the terminal gate arcs for the sections in column, stepping their extra fancy step behind the swag and spolia of the universal world. Out from the camp, in through the dexter arch of double-wayed Carmenta, by where Aventine flanks the circus. From arcs the birds deploy. To where the totem mother, imported, Ionian, of bronze, brights Capitoline forever. From the phonine slope of creviced Palatine does the grey wreath erect her throat to welcome the lupine gens? Erect, crested with the open fist that turns the evil spell, lifting the flat palm that disciplines the world, the signa lift in discipled acknowledgement. The eagles stand erect for Ilia. O Roma, O Ilia, Io triumphe, Io, Io. The shopkeepers presume to make the lupine cry their own. The magnates of the Boreum leave their nice manipulations. You may call the day ferial, rub shoulders with the plebs. All should turn out to see how those appointed to die take the Roman medicine. They crane their civvy necks half out their civvy suits to bait the maimed king in his tinctured vesture. The dying tegernos of the wasted landa, well webbed in our marbled parlour, bitched and bewildered, and far from his dappled patria, far side the misted freedom. You can think a thing or two on that parade. Do the celestial forechoosings and the hard journeyings come to this? Did the imperial fires hallow the chosen womb to tabernacle founders of emporia? Were the august conjoinings, was the Troiad wondering achieved? Did the sallow ducts of Luperca nourish the lily-white boys? Was Electra chose from the 7 stars in the sky? Did Ilia bear fruit to the strider? Was she found the handmaid of the Lar? Did the augurs inaugurate? Did the clarissimi steady the transverse rods? Did they align the plummets carefully? Did they check the bearing attentively? Was the templum dead true at the median intersection? Did the white unequal pair labour the yoke, tread the holy circuit? Did they, so early in the marls of Cispadana, show forth, foretoken the rudiments of our order, when the precursors at the valley sites made survey of the loam, plotted the trapezoids on the sodden piles, dig the sacred pits before the beginning? Did they square the hill sites for the hut circles? Did the hill groups look to each other? Were the hostile strongpoints, one by one, made coordinate? Did Quirinal with Viminal call to the quadrata? Did the fence of Tullius embrace the mixed kindreds? Did the magic wall that keeps the walls describe the orbit? Did that wall contain a world from the beginning? Did they project the rectilineal plane upwards to the floor of heaven? Had all within that reaching prism one patria? Rooted clod or drifted star, dog or dryad, or man born of woman, did the sacred equation square the mundane sight? Was truth with fact conjoined? Did the earth mother blossom the stone lintels? Did Urvus become Urbs? Did the bright share turn the dun clod to the star plan? Did they parcel out per scamna et strigas, the civitas of God, that we should sprawl from Septimontium, a megalopolis that wills death? Does the pontifex, do our lifted trumpets speak to the city and the world, to call the tribes to Saturnalia, to set misrule in the curule chair, to bind the rejected fillet on the king of the bean? It's hard to traipse these things from the circuit of the ager, from the traverse of the wall, waiting for the middle watch to pass, wanting the guardhouse fug where the companions nod, where the sooted billikin brews the night broth. So cold it is, so numb the intelligence, so chancy the intuition, so alert the apprehension, for us who walk in darkness in the shadow of the onager, in the shadow of the labyrinth of the wall of the world, of the rubber walls of the world city, traipsing the microcosmic night, or traipsing the night within, walking the inner labyrinth where also the night is, under the tortoise of the skull for every man walking, under the legionary's iron knob, under the tribune's field crest, under the very distinguished gilt cassis of the legatus himself. We don't know the ins and outs. How can we? How shall we? What did our mothers tell us? What did their mothers tell to them? What the earth mother told to them? But what did the Queen of Heaven tell her? What was it happened by the fire flame eating the griddle cake, or by the white porch where our sister sang the Sabine dirge? They used to say we marched for Dea Roma, behind the wolf sign, to eat up the world. They used to say we marched for the Strider, the common father of the Roman people, the father of all in our walk of life, by whose very name you're called. But now they say the Quirinal Mars turns out to be no god of war, but of armed peace. Now they say we march for kind Irene, who crooks her rounded elbow for little Plutus, the gold-getter. They say that sacred brat has a future. Now all can face the dying god, the dying Gaul, without regret. But you and me, comrade, the darlings of Ares, who've helped a lot of Gauls and gods to die, we shall continue to march and to bear in our bodies the marks of the marcher by whatever name they call him. We shall continue to march round and round the cornucopia. That's the new fatigue.